Vallarta, Mexico, tied to the killing of a cartel boss by the Mexican military, is causing travel impacts across the nation. Tonight, U.S. citizens are being asked to shelter in place. WBTV's Forrest Tucker spoke to a Charlotte-based travel agent about what this issue can teach travelers.
Puerto Vallarta and other West Coast Mexican cities are prime destinations for American tourists, especially during spring break, which is right around the corner.
I'm sure there will be people who are concerned, and I would say just stay posted. Look at the websites that are the state tourism websites for Mexico, the U.S. government websites on Mexico.
Clashes between the Jalisco New Generation Cartel and Mexican armed forces continued Monday after the killing of the country's most wanted cartel boss.
And the most important thing right now is to guarantee peace and security for the entire population of all of Mexico.
The State Department also asked Americans in Mexico to shelter in place, especially in the western parts of the country. Multiple airlines, including American, canceled flights to and from several airports in Mexico because of the conflict.
And if you're going to a Cancun or Riviera Maya, I'm not seeing as many delays or concern there.
Angela Pope of Charlotte-based Dream Vacations advises people who have plans to travel to Mexico to buy travel insurance. Even though she's optimistic the violence will stop by the spring break season.
Since the pandemic, really, 95+% of our clients purchase travel protection. This helps when it comes to trip delays, interruptions, but also on the medical side if there's an emergency there.
As the situation unfolds, Pope says it's crucial for Americans in Mexico to stay calm, talk to your emergency contacts, and use the online messaging platform WhatsApp to communicate instead of text messaging.
Think of yourself in this situation of how do you take protection if you're in an alarming situation? How do you take cover or practice practicality? Stay in place. Don't look to wander off.
As of Monday evening, the U.S. State Department says that more areas of Mexico have returned to normal, but are cautioning Americans in and around Puerto Vallarta to continue sheltering in place. In Charlotte, Forrest Tucker, WBTV on your side.
Forrest.